Hello, Patriots. Captain Kyle here, and I am going to talk to you about some stuff that's going on right now. And, you know, this whole story with Elon Musk and Trump, it's all a play. This is what Trump does. He's a master at it. And the deal with that is that they set him up because Elon was being attacked so violently by the left. And it's like all of a sudden he was their wonder boy as far as the leftists. He was their wonder boy for a long time, saving the planet and so many things. And then all of a sudden, supporting Trump, he became enemy number one, especially going in Dodge and everything else. It was like, you know, what do? You flip the script. And that's exactly what they did. And then he started to, you know, I've talked about this with this Congress that is supposed to be all Republican, both House and Senate. And they have actually done nothing. And I mean nothing. This is a ridiculous, show of just how incompetent that all of them really truly are on purpose is showing it. But they haven't done anything as far as releasing bills and doing the work that they're supposed to. And they're all supposed to be united and being able to support the agenda. Well, this Congress has actually produced less actual legislation law to go to the president's desk in this period of time than any other presidency before it. Did you hear that? Meaning they ain't done nothing. And this bill, the big, beautiful bill, was supposed to be the start to actually lowering taxes, getting regulations, and so on and so forth. But then they all started to put their pork all in it and started throwing crap in it that was just crap. And so Trump was pushing for he's got to push for the big, beautiful bill because it has the agenda stuff in it, but all the other crap that they throw into everything that is what makes legislation shit. Just plain and simple. And this is what they have done. And Trump couldn't go and talk about it. So Elon and them get into their spat. And then all of a sudden, Elon starts to voice his concern about all of the junk that's in it after he's worked so hard with Dodge and basically exposing the fraud and corruption. And then they just throw it all back in different ways in this big, beautiful bill. And so he's exposing it. And that was perfect. And not only did he do that, but he started to become a part of, going against Trump and saying, the reason they hadn't let the Epstein files released is because Trump's in them. Wow. Now it's like immediately when that happens, all of a sudden, all these Democrats that were against it are all like, release Epstein files, release the documents, release. And it's all a part of the flip. Now, Elon is basically playing to their ignorance. And that is absolutely beautiful what they've done. Because you got to understand, Elon was made by the alliance. Yes, made. And he had the highest clearance. He's got the highest clearance that you could possibly imagine. He's got all of the contracts, the military. He is a part of this whole operation and has been. So, you got to understand that this is all a play. Everything is being played out. And it's like the people have to see how this plays out for it to work. And that's exactly what's happening. This is nothing. It's already been done. it's got to play out in a way that the people are exposed to it and they get basically changed by the circumstances in which we go through for real change to actually happen. And that's what's taken place here. And it's like, you know, this whole situation with what's coming this week with the celebration for the 250th anniversary for the military and Trump's birthday celebration. And now the other side, because of what happened with Elon and Trump and the being pushed, now they pushed to set up the riot situation. Because now it looks like they've got somebody in power that's going against Trump. It could be that voice. And so the whole deal with the ICE and immigration situation that started in LA, and, you know, Trump pushing the military, just like you said, absolutely, to the actual division and base in which it's being pushed out of. That's something. So do you think this isn't scripted? It's all scripted, every bit of it. And now the enemy is pushing for this No King's Day protest all across the country. And so remember back in the George Floyd situation and the Summer of Love deal with that was in Washington and so on and so forth, and the military was coming in, and not the military, but the agents were coming in, and they were picking people up, throwing them in vans, and then basically letting them go later after they were interrogated. And what they were doing was that they were cloning their phones and basically putting them back out into their environment, letting them do what they wanted to do, and mapping the entirety of their organizations. And I mean entire organizations. And this is the time that Palantir, yes, Palantir, was being really used by the White Hats. So the White Hats came in and commandeered the Hammer system, which it was Hammer and Scorecard with using the Palantir operating system on top of it, which actually was AI that mapped and documented and tracked absolutely freaking everything. And I mean everything. Nothing was not tracked by this. And I mean, it's like even the shots and how it connected people to the internet, everything was being monitored through the system. The White Hats actually took it over before the election and with Hillary. And when Hillary lost, it's because they didn't allow it to actually do what it was supposed to by manipulating the election and her winning and him losing. That's why they could not believe she lost, because they'd been using Hammer and Scorecard and the operating system of Palantir all over the world by changing and manipulating elections everywhere. This is how they controlled it all. And it was a part of controlling the banking system, stock markets. It controlled and manipulated absolutely everything, people. The deep state was using it as a means to be able to, that was going to be their end game on the complete control and the manipulation of people. Well, when the White Hats actually took it over and introduced Palantir and that supercomputer AI to the AI and intelligence of Mount Hayes that I talked about, that was a part of the organic AI super quantum computer, which is actually greater than quantum in its capacity, and it was organic, and that's the only way it could be operated was through organic. And the white hats that actually started to use it, the black hats have been trying forever to get this thing and to be able to operate these systems. These systems actually are connected to absolutely everything around the world. And that system, which is all underground, goes all over the world, but its main sources are in Alaska, Greenland, which we talked about why they wanted to get Greenland, and the what's underground there, and it's a part of this system. All over North America, and the connection of this is a part of what is called the Golden Dome. The same thing Trump actually is saying that he's going to build for the United States for the protection. He's telling everybody that they already have it. This is the system. And it's basically it's not of this world. And it is technology that is so far advanced that you can't even imagine the abilities that it has. And when they actually took that system and then tied it into Palantir and the um, Hammer supercomputers AI, then that tied it into absolutely everything all over the planet and the information between them with the benevolent AI. They got tied into Palantir, which was the deep states. It made it to where it actually had the control of absolutely everything, and in a benevolent and positive manner. So one of the admins actually asked me about Palantir a long time ago, and I said it's not going to be something that comes out right now, but it will in time, and now is the time in which Palantir is actually going to be exposed. But it's being exposed right now as a basically a tracking system that tracks actually everybody, and it was like going to be like a used as a police state type situation, but that's not where it's actually being used for, because it's the white hats and the military. The white hat military has taken it and used it for the application of basically freeing the world. So this system is absolutely beyond what you can even farthest imagine that it can actually do. It's all coming to a head, and it is doing what it's doing, but that system is in place, and it's actually monitoring everything, all traffic, everything that's happening with absolutely everything. And we got this event that's going on for the military this weekend, but they also have these protests that are supposedly supposed to go down this weekend called No King's Day protest in all of these major cities around the United States, kind of what has been kicked off in LA as a precursor to what's supposed to happen in all these other cities all simultaneously starting this weekend. And so Palantir and the AI system, the quantum system, is monitoring, tracking absolutely everything within this, every phone traffic, every conversation, every transaction, everything that has to do with anything is all being tracked, and it's all being monitored completely. So there is no way to sugarcoat this, but it is potentially going to have some unrest, some ugly stuff happen. If it happens where you are at, please do not get involved. That is a part of the trap to get you suckered into the circumstances. If you get trapped in it inadvertently, do whatever you have to get yourself out of it. Be smart, keep your situational awareness, and don't allow yourself to get overcome by it, period. Use your head, use your wisdom, stay out of it, don't come around. The military is being put into place everywhere for this specific. It's going to be ugly. I don't know if it's all going to start this weekend to being that bad, but it is already started. We are in the open start of the military operations. And so be wise, be smart about the things and the choices that you make. You don't have to worry if you just keep your wits about you. God has this, and the AI that is being operated through this has gamed it out a bazillion freaking times in every possible way for this to happen, and it's happening that exact way. And so I just want to encourage you that God is in control. Just make sure that you have the things to do to protect yourself and your family, and some basic essentials to get by if there's some slight disruptions in your normal activities, so to speak, for a short period of time. No, it can't be too long, because if it's a long extended period, then the enemy wins, because people will start killing people, and that can't happen. So this is not the play for people to go into complete chaos and to have civil unrest to the point of chaos and people start killing each other. That is not the play, period. Even if it appears that way somewhat, that is not the play. You have to understand that just with Joe Rogan and them talking about it this past, that 50% to 85% of what you see on the internet is fake. It is not real. It's bots, it's AI, and it's being manipulated. We have been telling you for years now that this stuff has already happened. The military has completely shut down the information for what's being released, how it's being released, and to show you these things the way it's meant to be put out there, period. It's like even what's going on in Ukraine and with Russia and the circumstances with their this attack. This attack was bullshit. It was all AI generated. There was some damage, but it was intentional, and this was on purpose. And it was to expose that NATO and the NATO people were involved in planning all this, and that Ukraine could have never done any of this. We're talking 1,200 miles inside Russia. They couldn't wipe their own ass. Sorry, but this is the truth. And so it was all basically AI generated, all of it. The majority of this stuff it's like if you were to go watch the movie Wag the Dog. I have been talking about this specifically. They showed it to you years ago. And this exact thing is manufacturing wars, manufacturing information so that they can actually promote an agenda, or in that case, to get a president reelected. So, any and everything that you are seeing is intentional, completely. So, don't go falling for what you think you see as real, because things are not as they appear, period. They are not as they appear. So I have said this for years, and I keep on reiterating it. And when other people, other big names come out and say these things, then it's not for you. It's for the mainstream people that are normal, just don't ever, have never even been exposed to any of this stuff, being exposed to it for the first time. And by these so-called influencers or whoever they may be in that aspect of waking up the normies. So you're there with a perfect opportunity to be the lighthouse for them in the storm, because we are in the freaking storm now, hon. We are there. God has a purpose for you, and that is for you to be that lighthouse in the darkness and to be that calm, still, strong, steady rock for your circle of influence. God knew what you could deal with, and you have dealt with it all. We're getting to the end of this movie, and this is when shit goes all crazy, but this is a major scripted show that, yes, it is happening in real life, but it is also scripted. And they've told us over and over again about central casting, and central casting. This would make a great movie, because it is, even if it's being scripted out in real life. So the thing that you're seeing with Trump and all this other crap is all a part of the play. It's all part. Everything is a part of it. You cannot take what you're being fed as what it is, because it's meant to provoke the people that are dead asleep to doing something different, whether it be wake up or to entice them to be activated into whatever scam that they were supposed to be part of. Because Palantir, the military, the supercomputer, and the quantum AI computers are monitoring, mapping, and projecting it all, every bit of it. Nothing will go unpunished, period. We're here. Be prepared. Don't be scared. And know that God is in control. I love you guys. Talk to you soon.